As I ease open the front door, my daughter's voice sliced through the stillness like a knife. Cold. Certain. Don't worry, Mom. Dad's too spineless to do anything. I stood in the entryway, inhaling slowly, once then again, allowing the weight of her words to settle into my chest. Ellen, my wife, didn't even glance at me. She was busy zipping up her suitcase, her movements firm, final, like a woman ending a story she no longer cared to finish. I walked in slowly, taking in the room. No noise, no panic, just that unshakable calm that comes when the war inside you finally ends. Ellen's expression gleamed with quiet satisfaction. Mia, our daughter, stood with her arms folded tightly across her chest, smirking with borrowed confidence. This was rehearsed, prepared. They had mapped out my exit, like I didn't matter. I held out an envelope to Ellen. It's a court order, I said evenly. You're legally restricted from touching any shared finances. Then I turned to Mia, handing her a single sheet of paper. Eviction notice, I added. You're 19. You've got a day to leave. Mia's grin cracked. Ellen blinked in disbelief, completely thrown. What kind of joke is this? She spat. It's not, I replied, my voice cool, unwavering. It's what happens when choices have consequences. I walked past them, placing my keys in the bowl by the door and peeling off my coat. My fingers were steady. Finally, there was a time when they weren't. The past hadn't always been full of betrayal. We once had warmth. We laughed over takeout dinners, shared beach holidays, spent evenings with flickering candlelight and lazy late-night conversations. I was deeply in love with Ellen, built my entire world around her, around us. I didn't just build a home. I built a company, a legacy, with nothing but grit, caffeine, and restless nights. In the early years, Ellen was my teammate. We shared ramen dinners, huddled in one worn-out jacket, holding on through tough winters. Then Mia came, our miracle child, after 4 exhausting rounds of IVF. I remember the moment I first held her, tears soaking my shirt as Ellen sobbed beside me. That memory still stings, because love doesn't always leave loudly. Sometimes it fades without a sound. The cracks appeared slowly. It began with how she clutched her phone tighter when I reached for it. Just work, she said. Then came late-night meetings. The unfamiliar perfume, jasmine, foreign to our home. Giggling phone calls behind closed doors. I wasn't naive. I just wanted to believe her. But the truth came crashing in one ordinary Wednesday. She left her phone on the kitchen counter while she showered. It buzzed. I glanced. I still don't know what made me pick it up. I'm not a suspicious man. But there it was, glowing on the screen. Can't wait until he's still clueless. I stood there, staring at the words like a mirror I'd been avoiding for years. My hands didn't tremble. I didn't march into the bathroom. I didn't yell. I got methodical. That night, she kissed my cheek before bed. I kissed her back and started my plan. I hired a private investigator, dug through records, tracked calls and messages, hotel bills, all of it. She never logged out of our shared cloud account. Rookie mistake. I found everything. His name was Nathan Cole, a divorced real estate agent I once mentored. He'd toasted wine at our Christmas party, shook my hand with a smug smile. I also uncovered an offshore bank account. She'd opened it under her maiden name and had been quietly draining money from the business, assuming I wouldn't notice. She miscalculated. Mia, my own daughter, had known, covered for her mother, lied right to my face. You're making this harder than it needs to be, she once snapped when I asked about her grades. Now it made perfect sense. Their betrayal didn't break me. It refined me. I took action. First, I froze our joint accounts. Then I gathered every financial record, every receipt, every login. I'd already begun building a private trust months ago, just in case. I shifted all company ownership to an executive entity in my name only. Ellen had signed power of attorney years ago during a surgery. It was still valid. She'd never bothered to read the fine print. I was prepared. So when I came home early that morning, I knew they'd be ready to leave bags packed, self-satisfied. And I walked in just in time to hear Mia say it. Dad's too weak to act. That wasn't just my breaking point. It was my arrival. You're bluffing, Ellen whispered, her fingers trembling as she scanned the court order. You can't do this. It's already done, I said. Mia's voice cracked. But this is my home. No, I said clearly. This is my home. You made your choices. Now you live with them. I turned and walked away, leaving them to stew in the silence. But it wasn't confusion hanging in the air. It was fear. A month later, we were in court. Ellen's attorney tried everything. Claimed emotional abuse, financial control, manipulation. But my case was ironclad. I had receipts, testimonies, emails, call logs. It wasn't contest. The judge awarded me everything. Sole ownership of the company, full rights to the house, even custody of our dog. Ellen fell apart in the courtroom. The public loss hit harder than anything. Nathan? Gone. He vanished the second things turned inconvenient. Now my house is spotless. Quiet. A little colder. Perhaps, but wholly mine. I keep the eviction notice in my desk drawer, not as a bitter souvenir, but as a symbol, a reminder. People like Ellen mistake silence for softness. Girls like Mia echo the strongest voice in the room. Once, I was a quiet one. Not anymore. I've learned that revenge doesn't burn. It chills. It doesn't scream. It waits, watches, then signs the papers. Ellen lives in a small rental across town now. Mia's staying with a friend. The affair's dead. The money's secure. And me? I sleep well, because sometimes the most dangerous man is the one you never saw coming.